All right, good evening and welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. Tonight we are going to revisit an experiment we did a couple of streams ago where I wanted to have a two-team league with only low stuff pitchers. In this case, all versions, all duplicates of Nate Cornejo from the same year that he has a card in Perfect Team 25, where his stuff is a 10, which is about the lowest I've seen. But he has like a decent card for a low iron. Um, so he won't just be getting crushed all the time. And the only batters facing him would be clones of Nelly Fox, who usually had around 13 to 15 strikeouts per season. And these are like 700 plate appearance seasons. It was inspired by a new card that just came out for Nelly Fox, who has, I think, maybe the highest avoid K in the game at this point at a 173. So even if you don't play the game, a 10 versus a 173, and they're opposite sides of the same coin, right? Stuff is how likely a pitcher is to strike someone out. Cornejo's a 10. Avoid K, how likely someone is to avoid striking out. Nelly Fox is a 175. So even if you don't know the game, the fact that we're talking about a 10 and a 175 gives you some sense of what this simulation would be like. But for several reasons, mostly it seems related to how the game normalizes things in a league. We got very unexpected results um, in several ways. So we'll go over that in detail. But first, I need to do a couple of drafts before these tournaments fire. So I normally try to focus on doing interesting stuff in the base game, mostly because I think it's interesting, but also because I don't think there are as many people streaming that stuff. There are tons of people streaming drafts and draft tournaments and roster building, and that's great. Like I learned a ton by watching those streams. I just think like I don't have a ton to add to that. There are a lot of people who are a lot better at those things than I am, who are putting great content out. So that's why I don't do it. It's not because I don't think it's good content. It's just that I think other people are doing it better. But tonight, I can only go on at certain times because I have other commitments, mostly family stuff. And so I go on when I can, which is 10:30 Pacific. But tonight I had to I didn't have time to do these drafts because I'm single parenting for the weekend. Um so I'm gonna have to do these drafts on stream. They are speed drafts, which is good because I lately treat everything as a speed draft. This is a 5 minute draft. Even my regular drafts, I try to do them in under 10 minutes. Um, Probably because I think it's more fun and challenging, but also there's not that much more value in taking longer than that. Although lately, with all the new cards coming out, I think I have benefit from taking a little bit more time. Um, just make sure I'm not passing by a really good card. So I still might do that from time to time. So I really like this No More card because I went to Georgia Tech, but I think this is so old thinking. I really like this Henry McHenry from when it came out. Oh yeah, he's still a good hitter. All right, I'm going 2 for 1 here versus the super high contact Nomar. Oops. So I'll take him. And I have to do this twice. So I usually don't take pitchers in the first 3 rounds of these drafts, just because they only pitch every 5th game. Center field is a premium fielding position. He's a 100 fielder and he can hit, so I'm going to take him there. Really like the position flexibility on these um, future legend cards. And Colson Montgomery has a lot more position flexibility. I'm a little tempted to go over here with the high I, because he also has some good position flexibility. But in the end, I'll take the power and I over here, Colson Montgomery. Let's take a lefty catcher and Mauer. I actually like Mesa a lot as a closer, but I need starting pitching right now. Not enough home run suppression. This shape was really good last year with the high BABIP, but P BABIP. Yeah, maybe I'm going to take Mesa. So in these middle rounds, I try not to go too many rounds without taking a pitcher because in the end, I need 12. Or do I need 12? Oh, 1989. Maybe I'll get away with 11 if I have to. I already have a lefty catcher, so I don't need one now. I think this is one of the better. I don't like that low home run suppression versus righties. Okay, so we got righty lefty closers now, or at least short relievers. I would like to take another starter, but I don't have a good one here. We already have a shortstop, although we can always move Montgomery to other positions. It's weird, but we're gonna go low power first baseman here with Hargrove. I think he's best available. Here we go, another future legend, just because of all that position flexibility and the home run power. I think this has a shape I don't like. It's not terrible, but that 70 home runs, which is barely green. So if I can find someone better, I'll take it. So I'm going to knock out these two drafts and then we'll go straight into the simulation. So the idea I had for the simulation is if the problem is, well, I need to focus. Let me just knock out these drafts. Uh, more I. Do I take more I? This is a low stamina starter. Oh, Tony Phillips, great position flexibility, great I. Take him. Take some glove and power in the outfield. Although Pearsall is pretty good too. Let's see. I think this guy's all right. Yeah, I like this. This shape's a little bit better. He's not great, but he'll do. Man, what's the lefty catchers today? I already got my Mauer. I need a righty catcher. This Brian Downing, I might take because he's a backup catcher and he's a good right-handed bat. In the lack of a really good pitcher in this round, I'll take him. There's low HRA, but he'll do in a pinch. This is a interesting shape. Lower control, higher home run suppression. Take that. I need arms right now, so all right. I'm gonna pass on this Mondesi. Okay, we got 8 pitchers now in round 10, so that's pretty good. Let me do a quick check on positions here. I'll let the AI fill out the roster and then check in and see where we are. Okay, we have backups everywhere. We have some cross backing up here, which isn't great, so we're going to look middle infielder, backup first baseman, and maybe a true backup catcher. So he's a good bat, terrible fielder, but check out this BABIP, 110 BABIP. So we'll take him. We're just looking for backups right now anyway. Joyce is a really good lefty bat. I like that I 140. We're actually decent on arms right now. We only have 7 and we're on 10. So let me grab an arm if I can. Maybe this Bill Hill. No, Quiz gets rocked on home runs, but um, that control and P-BAT. This would have been a good card last year. I still might grab him. Actually, I only have 3 outfielders, so maybe I'll take this Matt Joyce. Jerry Brown does infield, outfield though. I like that. And 110 left field, 90 center field. That 90 center field is nice for a backup, so we'll take him. Okay, I definitely need arms now. If you ever need you're in a pinch and need backups, check out this Rothrock. He backs up everywhere with pretty decent defense. Max Manning, yep. Like this card a lot, especially this late in the round. We'll take him for sure. Could use another arm here. We only have 2 rounds left and we're at 7 pitchers. This will be 8 pitchers. This isn't terrible. It's just got this weird splittiness. Or I'm tempted to take this Rothrock. But with all the future legends I took, I think I'm good on backups. Yeah. Okay, we'll go Mill Wilcox. Oh, I'm out of time. I forgot. Need an arm. Oh, I missed Gary Sanchez. Woody Held. Pitcher. Hitter. Catcher. Pitcher. Okay, we made it. How did I end up doing on counts? 12 pitchers. Not bad for widely clicking at the end. 16 batters because I have these 2 pitchers hitting. Now I gotta be careful because the AI overweights 2A hitters. So, but I don't mind Henry McHenry playing left field, especially because like no one really grades being benched because of it. Okay, I'm just gonna update the strategy. I can always do the staffs and lineups later after the stream if I'm because it takes a while for the after they fire the games don't start for a while and then the games take a while, so I should still be in round one when I finish the stream. So I will just update the strategies then. Let me just make sure the pitching staffs aren't messed up. Okay, we're gonna go double closer, double left right stopper, and then we'll put all these in middle relief. And they'll all double as setup. So all these things I do, I can explain later in more detail, maybe on a draft specific stream or lineup specific stream, but are all just like, designed to try to keep the AI from messing stuff up. Actually, let me just do the aggressive tiredness hook. It's tedious, but the lineups I can always adjust later. At least my staff will be set up. If you're here for my sim, I hope to get to it pretty quickly here. I just have to do one more draft. So while I switch accounts, I'll just go back to revisit. This is what we're going to be doing tonight. It's revisiting this idea of doing a low stuff, um, high avoid K um, league, basically. A league of nothing but Nate Cornejo's pitching, who has a super low strikeouts per nine. I think it was like 2.9 or something, versus Nelly Fox, who strikes out, 10 to 15 times a season. And these are like full blown seasons. Didn't work out the way I wanted, but now I think I have a way to do it so that I'll get the results I wanted. Okay, we're doing another overnight non-live speed draft. So I think it's pretty well known, but if you don't know, every license you buy for OOTP, you can create 3 accounts. The only thing is, you can't have more than 1 account from a license in a given tournament. I bought a second license when I decided I wanted to stream, because in case I want to do like some weird experiments with accounts. I don't know what they would be, but that was just my thought. And so you can have a team from each account in a tournament. So that's why I'm able to enter 2 teams in this tournament. Okay. I always lean towards position players in these early rounds. I mean, I do. Let's see what the BABIP is on these guys. 125, 117. Okay, I also like the 119 in the center field here, so we're going to go Trout. Uh, this is sometimes you don't get good batters, so then I go pitching. Okay, I like that profile. Let me just make sure this guy's not super good. Yeah, he has slightly lower home run allowed, but also a lot lower control, so I'm fine with Fritz. Again, no great bats here. I guess Bregman's decent. That's pretty good power and eye. The BABIP's a bit low, but problem is he's a 79 shortstop, and it's all from an infield error. He doesn't have great range or turn double play. If this Future Legends pitcher is good, I might take him. He's not great, but I like the higher home run suppression and stuff. All right, let's go pitcher. I think we can find better shortstops in the later rounds. Let's see. Give me pitchers. We have a good center fielder, so I don't need to go Chet Lemon necessarily. Hmm. Not loving this round. Don't love going reliever this early, but I might have to there. It's a good card. Tucker Barnhart might be good here. Good defensive catcher, 103. Problem is it doesn't come from framing, which is what I'm going for, but you need catcher, so we're gonna grab him. Also change this to ratings. Johnny Grow. Oh, this Buddy Bell plays shortstop really well too. Third and short. I like that combo. And this McCormick has a good shape, 90-90 with 82 P BABIP. But all the weights towards the control and home run suppression, which I like. So we'll go ahead and take him. Oh, I'm so tempted to take Bobby Bonilla. Oh, now do we take Pudge here? Check out that defense. And then I need to get caught up in the starting pitching here. So 80s across the board with 95 stuff. Slightly different profile, 70s and 100 there. And then there's Bobby Bonilla. Like this card, like that he's a Met, like the annual payment here, but I'm gonna take one of these pitchers. They're both two-way too. We'll go with the higher stuff, and then we'll take Pudge. Oh, it was between Verlander and Jones, wasn't it? All right, we'll lean towards the two-way Jared Jones. Always like the Tony Phillips for flexibility. This Seth Moorhead has a shape I like here, although the control is still a little low. That 144 home run suppression is nice. We don't have a first baseman yet, so let's get a bat here with Encarnacion. We still have a little bit of time to pick up some pitchers. We don't need another catcher now. We're definitely solid at catcher. I think this Ted Lilly has problems with home run control, though. Yeah, that was the case last year's card, too. All right, let's take Hairston. And Yeah, I'm not a fan of this low home run suppression shape this year. This was decent. The control's not great, but the home run suppression's there. We could always use the lefty out of the pen. Um, Rich Hill, he's a maybe. Halicki, I wish his control was better. All right, we're gonna take Rich Hill because we need pitchers. We only have six right now. Fred Green's a good lefty out of the pen. He's that funky shape, although he's very splitty. Um, I don't see anyone else I really love here. I could use some outfield, so Herzog would be an option. That really high eye with this high BABIP. Let's do that. Rich Hill and Whitey Herzog. Bill Lee, left-handed pitcher. Um, Stratton's too weak offensively. I already have infield flexibility from Tony Phillips, so it might be Willie Mays here. Good defense, no power at this stage, but decent BABIP, decent, really good eye. Oh, Valentin, I don't have a shortstop yet. Maybe I do. Oh, well, Buddy Bell's can play shortstop. That's right. You know what? I think we got to do this. I hate passing on a young Willie Mays, but does this card still play? Yeah, the home run suppression is not quite there, but oh, I could have just taken Carlos Hernandez here. Maybe I still will. I guess I need to make some decisions here. How are we on pitching? We've got 9. So infield, outfield flexibility. Okay, so now we'll have 10. We need 2 out of 5 here be pitchers, and the rest can be batters. We're definitely going to take advantage of the grace period here. Okay. What do we need? What do we need? Okay, we're good everywhere. Not bad. We don't need catchers. Okay, made it. You can see how much over the time limit you can go and still be safe. I've gotten burned a couple times, but for the most part, I've been able to really stretch that grace period. So we're gonna go double stopper again. Jesse Chavez is the closer. Oh yeah, yeah, nice home run suppression. Although, with this lefty righty mix here, I think we need to make him a setup. Yeah, we're gonna go setup. That's okay though, because when I do this way, I don't always do. I usually like to have a closer on top here, but um, I make all these secondary role closers, so the stoppers and the setups can all close, and these will all be middle relief. Tin Cup's probably the most borderline with that home run loss, but he's my only righty in middle relief, so I can't afford to make him high leverage only. So he's gonna have to pitch. One way to mitigate that is you can go into his individual sliders and just make him high pitch around. I don't know if anyone's modeled it or statistically proven it out, but from people who are really good at draft tournaments, we've been taught in streams that that can help mitigate high home run allowed, especially if they're good control. You can crank up their pitch around to avoid giving up home runs. Okay, I'm going to do lineups later. All right, thanks for bearing with me there. So let's go back. Let me give you the history here of what we've done. So this is the initial experiment was. Uh, oh, here I'll show you the original. So here was the original episode 42. But let's just have a universe or a league of all Cornejos and Foxes. So all pitchers with low stuff or basically inability to strike people out, and all Nelly Foxes as batters. So all batters who avoid striking out. And let me pull up their profiles here in Baseball Reference. Let me pull up Nate Cornejo. B-Rat. Okay, so here's who we're talking about. Through for the Tigers, 2001 to 2004, so not a long career. This is the year he's in PT, Perfect Team. His card's based on this 2003 year. He's a low iron, which is the lowest level, and he's a 40, which is the lowest value. But he's pretty well known and highly used because for cap tournaments, a 40 is essentially a free player, and so that lets you shift points to higher value players. And what makes him interesting is I may have to resize this so you can see all his stats here. Okay, so if you check out his rate data, right? 10.9 hits per 9 innings, not great, but home runs allowed 0.8, walks allowed 2.7. But the two so good home run suppression, good control. The two downsides are it gives up a decent amount of hits and doesn't strike anybody out. This 2.1 is ridiculously low. Um, Especially like in the modern era. This is 20 years ago. I don't know that anyone's going to have a 2.1 strikeouts per nine. In fact, part of let me create a new source here. Paul Sporer, our content director of OOTP, sent me. He also works at Fangraphs. He sent me a link to a great screen for or resource at Fangraphs for searching this stuff. So K rates. So let me open up a window with that. Shout out to Paul Sporer. He's awesome. Hold on, bear with me for a second. He sent it to my Discord. Okay. Here it is. Let me paste that in there. Okay, let me now I can share this with you. Why isn't it showing up? Oh, there it is. Okay. So here's the Fangraphs link, and this is pitchers with strikeout percentage. He likes strikeout percentage because it also takes into account not just outs, right? If it's strikeouts per nine, it's for every 27 outs. This is for every by batter. So I understand why he does that. But since that Cornejo data we saw was in strikeouts per nine, right? Just to refresh our memory here, he had a 2.1 strikeouts per nine in 2014, according to this Fangraphs data. The lowest strikeout percentage is 15.7%, which is a 6.16 strikeouts per nine. So even if you sort by strikeouts per nine, I want to flip it here. 6.05 is the lowest in 2014 or 2024, I mean. So that gives you an idea. So yeah, that gives you an idea of how low Cornejo was. So one thing I want to do is like historically, who are the pitchers with the lowest strikeouts per nine? So let's do, how far back can we go? Let's go, I don't know, maybe post-war, right? That might be a good cutoff. Do we have to split season? I don't think so. All right, so it's loading. Okay, now we get when you go historic, that's when you start to get these really lower strikeouts per nine. But I mean, check out how far back you have to go. Like Sandy Consuegra, I know him because of PT25, right? When was he pitching? Right in the 1950s. You have to go back to the 50s to find strikeouts per nine, like we saw in 2000. Was it 2003 with Cornejo? But this is great because this is what I was looking for. I was looking for who do we want to use? If it was Cornejo, that's fine, but I like the idea of using someone like historically low. And the other thing is we want to find historically high because here's the plan. Let me go back to this. So apparently the issue was because I only had super low stuff pitchers. There's a normalization the game does where across the league there's there are only clones of this pitcher. So his low stuff becomes the average. So his low stuff starts to get treated like average stuff. And and this is my understanding. If anyone watches this and knows differently, if you're a dev or if you have done the analytics, I'd be very curious to know. And the flip side is on Nelly Fox's side, his super high void K that becomes like treated kind of like the average. And so the results support that. Here's the data. I think it's super interesting. Um, Here are the Nelly Foxes. Right, this is a guy who strikes out 13 to 15 times a season. He's striking out 80 to 90 times a season, which kind of feels like league average. And so I think that's what's happening. It's treating his 173 avoid K as league average. So all Nelly Foxes are, even with their super high avoid K, are average. Now, on the Cornejo side, something interesting happened, and I think I understand what happened here. If you just look at the starters, they're all uniformly terrible, right? ERA is pretty high whips. But then if you look at all the bullpen Cornejos, again, these are all clones of the same player. Let me see if I still have the notepad file handy. When I did the import, hold on, let me open the notepad. I can show you. I started rebooting before every stream because my computer is so um, glitchy when because it doesn't have enough memory. All right, here's what it looks like, right? I just literally copied and pasted Cornejo's player ID, the year, and the destination, and Nelly Fox's player ID, the year, the destination, just over and over. So it's literally the same player, carbon copies of the same player. The only thing with Nelly Fox was to kind of take fielding kind of out of play. I made two of them catchers, gave him catcher ratings. I think I made five of them outfielders, gave them outfielder ratings, and other than that, they're all identical. Especially on the batting side, nothing was changed. On the Cornejos, his stamina was actually middle of the road, so I didn't even feel like I needed to make reliever or starter versions of him. Um, so I just left him completely alone. Now we keep hearing in Perfect Team that when you move pitchers to the bullpen, they get a stuff boost, and they only throw it's either two or three of their best pitches. And I don't know how this necessarily combined because my understanding was the more pitches you have, especially like off speed to complement fastball and so on, that your stuff increases. So I think maybe just like there's a DH penalty, there's a stuff boost when you move to the bullpen. But you really see that here, right? These are identical Cornejos. The only difference is he's been assigned to the bullpen. And you can see, like, look at the strikeouts per nine. So the starters are all under 0.5. For the relievers, they're all over 9. And you have two of them that are 24 and 23. 23.2 and 24.5. And they're not small sample sizes. These are 80 innings, 88 innings, 82 innings. 24.5 means you're breaking the major league record for strikeouts in a 27 out game, right? A 9 inning game. You're breaking that on average for the entire season by 20%. So this pitcher who can't strike out more than half a batter per 9 innings, coming out of the pen is suddenly striking out everybody. Like beyond like a superhero or comic book level. Like 24.5 strikeouts per nine is insane. And so I think what's happening is the starters are reflecting the normalization of his low stuff becomes normal and he's average and he's getting rocked. Because frankly, he is a low iron 40 rated pitcher. He's not great. Um, he's great for a 40 pitcher, but he's not great for, you know, being league average. He's below league average. But when he's coming to the pen, these boosts make him a superstar. So I think that's what's happening. And so I think it's this normalization that's the problem. So my idea for tonight is um, right, is okay, before each team had low stuff pitchers, Cornejos, pitching against each other, pitching against high avoid K batters. So what if the Nelly Foxes are paired with super high stuff pitchers so that we get high stuff pitchers and low stuff pitchers. So low stuff pitchers pitch like low stuff pitchers, and high stuff pitchers pitch like high stuff pitchers. And then on the other team, it's the low stuff pitchers who will pitch against Nelly Fox, and then high strikeout batters who will bat against the high strikeout pitchers to then again balance out the league so that high avoid K still plays like high avoid K by putting in a bunch of low avoid K. So that's what I want to use these tables for. These Fangraphs tables is I'm trying to find those players. So I kind of want to keep Cornejo, except that he just got rocked so bad. Um, but if I can find a high K pitcher who's also like generally as bad as Cornejo, but happens to have high K per nine, I think that would let me keep Cornejo. So all these pitchers are pretty good, and you would kind of expect that, right? What I'm looking for is someone who strikes out a ton of people, but is also gets rocked a lot, or maybe walks a lot, like Nuke Lelouch, right? That would be a great um, complement to Cornejo. Okay, so these are, I think, doing career averages. So I think what I need to do is, I think I need to split seasons. Because this way I can grab a super high K per nine season from somebody who maybe was also not that great that year. All right, so it's thinking it over. Yes, now we have a year associated with each one. So give me strikeouts per nine. Okay, and let's find someone who had um, a high whip. Okay, here's a 1.38. Still not high enough. Here's Robbie Ray with a 1.34. Pretty high. Hmm. Okay, here's an interesting one. Matthew Boyd. 11.56. Okay, here we go. 11.56 strikeouts per nine, but a 1.23 whip, a 244 average against, and a 4.56 ERA. This might be our contrast to Cornejo. And they both happen to be Tigers, which I like. So let's go Matthew Boyd, 2019. So I need to build a new. Okay, so I need the player ID, which I usually get from Baseball Reference. I don't think Fangraphs has that. So Matthew Boyd 2019 is what we want. And when I say I get it, it's up here in the URL. Like Cornena01 is for Cornejo. It's the first five letters of the last name and the first two of the first name. So let's find Matthew Boyd. Since he has a four-letter last name, it'll just be Boyd and then M.A. But if there was a previous Boyd M.A., he'd be O2. But he is O1. Perfect. So he's our high strikeout pitcher. And we add him to our notepad. What? 2019. And let's decide now which teams we're going to use. Let's use the Mets and the Mariners, those are my two favorite teams. So the Mets are going to be the high strikeout pitcher, low strikeout batter team. And they will be facing the Mariners, who will be the low strikeout pitcher, high strikeout batter team. Now let's just look real quick again at this Matthew Boyd at his stats and make sure that the 2019 is the one we want. All right, so the 2019 is right here. Yeah, that's his peak in strikeouts per nine. He had a very small sample size season here of 9.5. All right, so he's our guy. I like it. Now we know we want Nelly Fox. Oh, no, wait. That's what I was going to see. Do we want to switch? We used Nelly Fox before. So now let's look at batting. And we're going to look at, okay, it's compiling. All right, so we want, I guess, K percentage, and we want the highest. Is it just, oh, there we go. It's loading now. I think like Adam Dunn's probably going to be in here. Oh, these are great. Okay. Chris Davis was one I was thinking of, but man, there are some that are higher. The 2020 Miguel Sano, who actually has a great card in PT25. His BABIP is huge, and he brings some good power with it, especially for a silver card. Although I like Evan White here because he's a Mariner. Let's see, 202 plate appearances, the same as Sano, similar to Sano in 2020. Um, I didn't realize Nolan Gorman struck out so much. Chris Davis was the other one I was thinking of, but he's almost too good. Like his power is too high. I kind of like the idea that Evan White has even less power than Sano. Um, because it's not like Nelly Fox is a power hitter either. So I like. It's also weird, like to strike out so much without generating power. It's like, what's the point? So let's go with Evan White 2020. Oh, sorry, I've been looking at Fangraphs and you're not seeing this. This is what I was looking at. I was looking at these top 5 or 6 here. So Evan White, just a couple percentage points below Miguel Sano, but a lot less power. The slugging, he's 130 points behind, yet striking out just as much. So we're gonna grab this Evan White 2020. Let's get his player ID and make sure it's the season we want. So white EV01. I'm going to copy that. And let's make sure 2020 is the season we want. Well, he only had 2 seasons. He had one. Maybe he's too bad. So it's a COVID shortened season. He did win a gold glove. Crazy that he struck out so much. 84 strikeouts and 182 at bats, 202 plate appearances. He cut down his rate because he had half as many at bats and plate appearances the next year, and he had less than half as many strikeouts. So, um, yeah, let's do 2020 Evan White. So now we go to Notepad. We need a new page. And he's going on Seattle. Seattle's going to be the Cornejo. Um, so let's get Nelly Fox. Nelly Fox is going with Boyd. And he's going to NYM. And then Cornejo is going with, hey, Cheeky. Thank you for the raid. Appreciate it. Welcome, everybody, to the Franchise Time Machine. We're doing another experiment here with Avoid K and stuff. So here, let me back up a bit here. Oh, Ripley the Oriole rating in 2. I appreciate it. Double raid. Thank you, Ripley. All right, so here's what we're working on today. It's a continuation of something I started a couple of streams ago. Um, Here, I'll show you the background. Okay, so 2 streams ago, um, I was inspired by the double raid, Ripley. Thank you so much. And thank you, Cheeky. If you're not if the groups are not following each other's streamers, I highly recommend that you do. Cheeky and Ripley the Oriole. Thank you so much. Okay, so following the release of the Nelly Fox card, who has a 173 avoid K in perfect team, which is about as high as I've seen this cycle, I thought, what would happen if a lineup of all Nelly Foxes who doesn't strike out faced a pitching staff of Nate Cornejos, who Nate Cornejo is an iron card 40, used a lot in cap tournaments. His stuff is a 10, which is also about the lowest I've seen. So what would happen if a bunch of low stuff Cornejos faced nothing but a lineup of super high avoid K Nelly Foxes? And so I made a league where it's just 2 teams. Each team is all Cornejos and all Foxes. And I thought, okay, it'll be a league where there's going to be like 100 strikeouts total. Maybe not even. But here's what happened. Um, Nelly Fox ended up striking out 80 to 90 times per Nelly Fox per season. And this is a guy who strikes out 13 to 15 times a season historically. So somehow Nate Cornet, who doesn't strike anyone out, is striking out Nelly Fox as if he's a mortal in terms of avoid K. Hey, morning, D Block. I'm doing a follow up on that Cornejo Nelly Fox experiment. So I'm just kind of getting everyone caught up on what happened last time. So Nate Cornejo, who has a 2.1, yeah, D Block is in Germany, Ripley. So we are his morning entertainment. It is modern league settings. It took place in 2023. Adub, thank you for the question and welcome back to the stream. Um, Two things interesting happened here with this Cornejo. If you look at his strikeouts per nine, the starter Cornejos can't strike anyone out, which is what you'd expect. His strikeout per nine is less than a half. But the bullpen Cornejos, two of them are over 23 strikeouts per nine. 23.9 strikeouts per nine is basically like you're breaking the record for strikeouts per nine innings across an entire season over and over. And this is a guy who can't strike out a batter per nine as a starter. Yes, it is ludicrous. So just like here's what I believe is happening, and I've talked to a few folks who understand the simulation engine better than I do. I think the Nelly Foxes were normalized. So since there's no one else but Nelly Fox in the league, his 133, someone had to get the case. That's right. That's kind of right. So since there's no one but Nelly Fox in the league, right? Let's go back to Nelly Fox for a second. His 133 avoid K is now the norm. Now, I don't agree with calculating it this way, but it seems like that's what's happening. So because 133 avoid K is now the norm, he's striking out like a normal person, 80 to 90 times per season. But on the pitching side, there's another factor coming into play. I think we keep being told there's this stuff boost when you move a starting pitcher into the bullpen in perfect team. Well, it seems the base game has that stuff boost too. And the stuff boost is exaggerated because there's basically only two pitchers in this entire league. There's starter Cornejos and there's reliever Cornejos. And so when they're so Chunk the Man, okay, seems to be supporting that conclusion. So I appreciate that. Stuff boost can be big. Yeah, and so this is highlighting just how big it is. And because of normalization, they become, I think, even more extreme. The low stuff starter Cornejos get pushed to seem even lower. And so that's why their strikeouts per nine are less than half a strikeout per inning, I mean. And then the high stuff reliever Cornejos get pushed to the other end, and they're striking out over 20 batters per nine innings. Yeah, the stuff boost is I think big is even an understatement. I don't know the right adjective to say how extreme it is. So you have the same pitcher because the stuff boost is now being uh, kind of being split into two completely different directions very extremely. So now you go from half strikeout to 23 strikeouts per nine. So the idea I had for tonight was let's break the normalization. You can see the boost by switching positions. Okay. Yeah, so here's the idea for tonight. Um I still want Cornejo facing Nelly Fox. 'Cause I want to see what happens when a low stuff pitcher faces a high avoid K player. I think his strikeouts might even go down to zero. But to break the normalization, instead of both teams having all Nelly Foxes and Nate Cornejos, the team with the Nelly Fox batters are going to have high stuff pitchers. So now the normalization won't happen, or it'll happen in the middle. So a low stuff pitcher will still have low stuff, and a high stuff pitcher will still have high stuff. So I found a mediocre pitcher with 11 point, I think 5 strikeouts per nine innings, who's going to be the starter, the pitchers for the Nelly Fox team. Uh, Ripley says you had an unreal stopper in OTP 2022-2023 save that carried over that averaged 20 strikeouts per nine across 130 innings one season. That's what Cornejo did here. That's yeah. So what you experienced, I saw in this one season where he didn't hit 100 innings, but in 88 and two-thirds and 82 and one-third, he struck out 23.2 per nine and 24.5 per nine. Of course, like I think with the saves, you get more attached to the players, and I think you probably reveled in that experience a bit more. This is more of like a one season speed sim. But I can appreciate what you must have, what that must have been like. So anyway, I found this. Actually, do I still have? Let me see if I still have his baseball reference up here. Oh, I switched to the batters, but and on Team Cornejo, it's gonna be all Cornejo still in the pitching staff, but the batters are going to be. I found this guy, Evan White, who in 2020 for the Mariners, he had a 40 some percent strikeout percentage. So I found him using this Fangraphs link that Paul Sporer sent me. I was having a hard time doing these sorts on Baseball Reference, and this link that he sent me for Fangraphs is great. So if you look at this, um, I did a historic search of strikeout percentages. Oh, see, yeah. So I was not playing Perfect Team, or was there even Perfect Team 21? Um, so I skipped some. I used to skip versions of OOTP because I wasn't playing Perfect Team, so I didn't play 21. But you know, Sano and White. Oh, what happened to my? Did my screen just go blank for you guys? Okay, mine's back. I think yours is back too. Oh, we're in an ad break. Okay, I think we're back for the ad break. Okay, so I sorted by highest strikeout percentage for the batters, and Evan White was second only to Miguel Sano. But it's interesting how much more power Sano has than White. So they both had around the same amount of plate appearances, 205 and 202. Sano hit 13 bombs, White hit 8, but they both had over 40% strikeout percentage. So Evan White, like, I kind of get when a guy strikes out a lot and hits a bunch of bombs because you're swinging for the fences and you're missing a lot, but you're also hitting a lot of bombs. I don't understand how Evan White is striking out 40% of the time and hitting like almost as many home runs. No. Um, but Evan White is going to be my reverse Nelly Fox. And on the pitching side, hold on, let me pull up this profile here. I was just looking him up. On the pitching side, Matthew Boyd is going to be my reverse Nate Cornejo. So in this year of 20, I think it was 2019, Matthew Boyd had 11.6 strikeouts per nine. Still had a 4.56 ERA and a 1.23 WHIP. So what I wanted was someone who had a low strikeout per nine or a high strikeout per nine, but was still like a mediocre Nate Cornejo level pitcher. Now he's probably better than Cornejo was, but he's closer than the other pitchers that had high strikeouts per nine. So what we're gonna have tonight is a team with I hope I don't mix this up. I'm really worried I'm going to mix this up. The team with the Nelly Foxes is going to have all Matthew Boyd pitchers, and the team with Evan Whites is going to have all Nate Cornejo pitchers. So this way, the low stuff pitchers are facing all the high avoid K batters, and the high stuff pitchers are facing all the low avoid K pitchers, if that makes sense. So there's going to be half the league is going to have tons of strikeouts, both pitchers and batters, and the other half is going to have almost no strikeouts, pitchers and batters, or at least that's the intent. So I'm trying to correct for this normalization thing. Um, so here are so I just pulled their player IDs from Baseball Reference, which you can always find in their URL, and I was just making the text files that I'm going to feed into OOTP 25 to bring them into the rosters. So this is team Matthew Boyd and Nellie Fox. So the easiest way to do this is just copy and paste it. And let me make sure I don't lose count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 12 Matthew Boyds. And then we're going to do 14 Nellie Foxes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. So that roster is ready for importing. Now this is Team Cornejo. It's going to be. I have a simple mind, so I'm going to put the pictures first on both so I don't get confused. This is Team Cornejo Evan White. All right, so it's 1 Cornejo, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Welcome to counting with Franchise Time Machine. Okay, Evan White's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so our rosters are set. This is really fast because we only have 2 players, just repeated over and over. So let me save both of them. We're going to save this one as um, Avoid K, AVK, Cornejo, White. And this other one I'm going to save as Avoid K, Fox, Boyd. I just need to be able to find them when I when I'm in the game. Okay, so one is gonna go into Seattle. Oh, this is the part I can't forget. So I'm gonna jot it down here. Let me find a pen. Okay, so I need a piece of scrap paper. There we go. Okay, so going to Seattle is Cornejo Boyd, and going to the Mets is. Wait a second. I'm confused. Why is Cornejo Evans? And then going to the Mets is Team Fox Boyd. Okay. I don't think it's a problem if I mix it up as long as I use both files, but oh no, it will be a problem. Well, yeah, it will be a problem. So, well, no, but now there won't be a problem. All right, so let's go to the game now. I don't know if my explanations made sense to people. I hope it did. I think this will be a fun sim. I think now I will get the super low strikeout results I wanted. I just have to balance it with a super high strikeout um, flip side to break the normalization. All right, so we are going to create a new game, a new historical game. I need to be in commissioner mode for a lot of this, so we're not going to do challenge mode. Although I do collect the game scores at the end just to see just what they look like. I don't think we need to do. Oh, we may need to. Yeah, I don't think we need complete history. I'm trying to do everything I can to minimize the amount of work my laptop has to do, so it minimizes the amount of freezing that happens during my stream. Okay. Historic transactions are off. I'm also going to not import the real minor leagues to minimize the work. And if it creates problems, I'll note it to not do that anymore. But I'm working around the limitations of my laptop. All right. Wow. Yeah, it went so much faster. That's awesome. Okay, this is experiment 4 now. Um, let's say unnormalizing. Okay, I'm going to be in commissioner mode. Let's say unnormalizing avoid K. The avoid K is the part I'm going to remember. And then this is the checklist that I use when I do these sims. So I noticed my mic is kind of a little bit. This happened last time too. When OOTP is cranking like this, um, again my laptop gets overloaded, and so my mic starts to cut out. But anyway, try to remember to turn off historical transactions because I don't want any players being added to our roster, and injuries off because I don't want to have to bring a reserve in. And have I ever played with hard? Oh, are you talking about trading difficulty? So I usually, so Flash, I usually don't do like realistic saves. I haven't really messed with the trading difficulty or preference settings much. I either do sims where I'm doing a fast sim just to see what happens, or one of the longer saves I do is like my each time I get a new version of OTP, I put myself and my friends onto the Mets, and it's like, of course, like the superhero versions of ourselves. And for that one, I don't do any trading because I want to keep my team together as much as I can. Um, the only other saves I do is when I usually start with the 87 Mets and try to like kind of create a dynasty. But in that case, I'm trying to fleece the other GMs, so I don't want hard trading. So I have not messed with that. But I think some of the other streamers who are doing longer term saves, I think they're trying to do it more realistically, so they may have. Okay, so we're going to use the Mets and the Mariners. I'm going to start off with running the Mets. Oh, sorry, the game is back on. Oh, so yeah, so let me finish this checklist. So injuries off. Um, the importance of popular and all-star voting. Just like in real life, all-star voting, the default setting is that popularity has a huge impact on all-star voting. And I want to see if our players make the all-star game based on their performance. So I turn the importance of popularity to off. So basically, the all-star game is a reflection of who has the best stats according to the AI at the all-star break. And then I do some manager settings to keep the sim from being interrupted by things like trade requests or things like that. And if you use the do not disturb lets the AI take over your team for a bunch of things you don't want it to when you're simming. So I'll show you how I do that without using do not disturb. Okay, so we're going to take over the Mets. Now, ultimately, we're going to also take over the Mariners. What you have to do to keep the AI from doing more roster shenanigans and lineup stuff is we're going to make the whole league under human control. But what you're going to see is by the time we're done, there's only going to be two teams in the league, so it's not going to be that hard to do. Okay, so once we're in, I have another checklist on how I import and sim. So first is we build our roster, which we've done, right? We've got these two notepad files. You can use any program that outputs a TXT file because that's what OOTP is going to be looking for. So I built my rosters. I started our season. We're going to do the import of players right now, adjust our settings. These are league settings and things like that. I'm actually going to do that first. So maybe I should flip these in the checklist. And then we're going to run the simulation. So let's go do those things. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of all the teams except the Mariners and the Mets. Because I don't want all those other players messing up our stats. So all this stuff is done in game settings. But while we're in here, we're going to do the other things from the checklist, like turn injuries off. That's under players and teams. Uncheck that. And then under league settings, under options, I'm going to turn, you see here, the influence of popularity on all-star votes is high, which I think is realistic. I want to make this none. And then I also like to not let my pitchers win the MVP award because I want to see what the AI thinks the best offensive season was, and the pitchers have the Cy Young award, so I don't want to let them double dip. Okay, but the main thing we need to do is under league settings and functions, we want to go to edit league structure. So we can delete the AL East, which I've always wanted to do. Goodbye, Red Sox and Yankees. We can delete the AL Central. And then we're going to delete everyone except the Mariners. And it could have been any two teams, but I grew up a Mets fan, and then when I moved to the Pacific Northwest, I decided I could follow an American League team, so I started following the Mariners. So I still follow the Mets, now follow the Mariners. If it came down to it, Mariners versus Mets in the World Series, I would still root for the Mets. Okay, let's delete the NL Central. And let's delete the NL West. Goodbye, Dodgers and Giants. Okay, in the NL East, we're going to delete everyone except the Mets. Oh, bye-bye, Atlanta Braves. All right, so we have our two teams now. And then the other thing we're going to do while we're in here... Oh, we need to generate a schedule, by the way. Better do it here, because otherwise when you go to start the season, it'll interrupt it and say, you need to generate a schedule. So while we're here, we're going to generate a schedule. It'll just be these two teams playing each other. Okay, schedule generated. That was quick and painless. What else do we need to do? Oh yeah. human managers. So if we go back to, well, let me show you how to navigate to it. Again, just go to game settings, league settings, and then under functions, which is the default for league settings. If you scroll down here, there's an option for um, set all teams to be controlled by Mochi Mitsushi. Mochi Mitsushi is the name I give myself as a manager whenever I play OOTP. It means the AI is not going to mess with our lineups and stuff unless we ask it to. So, you're now controlling every team in the league, every team being two. But you can do that for 30 teams if you want to, which when you're doing sims, you may want to. Okay, so now as the Mets first, let's go ahead and clear our roster. This is so that we only have paper here. We currently only have Matthew Boyds and Nelly Foxes, right? We don't want all these other players messing up our stats. And we're going to delete them, not retire them. Okay, and same for the reserve. And we don't need a reserve because we're not going to have any injuries. And now let's same for the Mariners. This is the one bittersweet part. I'm deleting some of my favorite players. Oh, my game's freezing up. Oh, here we go. Delete players. Delete players. Okay, now we can start importing our players. So, here, I have a checklist for this too. I do these checklists because people want to screenshot stuff. They want to do this on their own. Okay, so for importing instructions, we prepare the destination, which we just did. We cleared out the roster to make room for these players. We're going to go to the free agent page, which is where you go to create and import players. And then under actions, I'll show you where the actions button is. The couple of the choices are create players and import historical players. And then this is the database you're going to select, historical underscore database. And then we're going to upload a file instead of entering player IDs. The main benefit of uploading the file, other than it's faster, because you just do it once instead of 26 times, is you can also designate where those players go, right? That's what the third data element in these roster files is. It's the player ID, the season of that player you want, and then where they're going. If you use this individual player ID option, it doesn't let you um, generate or decide where they just go into the free agent pool. Hey, Flash, thank you very much. Yeah, I was super excited to see I came in second in PT Live. It's not something I'm super strong in, and so that made it extra special that I finished that high. So yeah, I appreciate it. Okay, so here's that checklist. If you want to screenshot it or make notes, I'll probably also put it up in my Discord. Um, but yeah, so that's how we're gonna do it, and I'll show you how to do it right now. So here's the free agent screen. Here's the actions button. Oh no, wait, sorry, not in the free agent screen. Let me take you to the free agent screen here. Sign a free agent. Okay, under actions, we're going to import historical players. Historical database.odb. Okay, now up at the top here, this is where you can enter in players individually. But again, they're going to end up in the free agent pool and you have to do them one at a time. We're going to do a bunch at once. Okay, here are the files I created. AVK, Avoid K, Cornejo White, and Fox Boyd. It actually doesn't matter which team I'm in because the file has taken care of that. So in hindsight, yeah, I didn't have to write down which was which. Now, I've learned a lot about how to use these pull downs over the past few weeks. We want their fielding ratings based on their career. Now, we're going to go in and give them more fielding anyway, because I want to take fielding out of the equation. So we are going to give a couple of Nelly Fox's catcher abilities. We're going to give 5 Nelly Fox's outfield abilities. And then the infield Nelly Foxes, we're going to give them ability, like experience across all 4 infield spots. And if you haven't done editor in the base game, I think you'll learn a lot from watching this. And then pitcher stamina, we'll also do, well, we'll do imported season and we'll make adjustments if we have to. Okay, so this is Cornejo White, and we're going to import the other list, which is Fox Boyd or Boyd Fox. Okay, 26 players imported. So I think we're good, but while we're here, let's just do import both lists. Since we're not going to the same roster, I think we'll still be able to identify if we had any problems. So we're just going to do another import historical players, another text file, and this time we'll do Fox Boyd. These stay the same from what we just did, and we're going to import them. The amount of time the game is thinking, it takes about that long to do one player or one list. So you can do that 26 times or you can do it once. Okay, so 26 players. This is my first sanity check. Did we get all 26? Yes, we did. We copied and pasted this time, so it's less of an issue. But if you're, assembling a roster of 26 players from all over history, it's pretty easy to make a mistake, and then you'll find that out when you only have 25 players import instead of 26. That's a good first check. Okay, so now let's go back to the Mariners roster. Okay, here's a bunch of Evan Whites and a bunch of Nate Cornejos. Awesome. Now, one of the things we're going to do is I'm going to rename them so that we can tell like which Nate Cornejo is doing what. So Nate Cornejo 01. Now this is a quirk of editor in the base game. When you do names, you have to hit enter or it won't save. So here, watch. I'll go to the next Nate Cornejo and I'll come back and this 01 will be gone. So here's the next Nate Cornejo. I'm going back and the 01's gone. This time I'm going to do 01 and hit enter. All right, I just hit enter. Now I'm going to the next Cornejo and I come back and now the 01's still there. Um, for anything else, when you change readings, it doesn't do this. I don't know why they have it do that for the names only. I mean, I'm glad it's the names only, but I wish it wasn't even for the names. I wish it would just auto-save it. So I apologize. This part's a little tedious, but it's important. It's kind of important when it comes time to do the data or look at the data. Otherwise, it's just like a sea of Nate Cornejos, and it starts to like not mean anything. 7 08 09 10 enter 11 enter 12 enter. Now let's just go back to the roster and make sure it looks right. Yeah, we've got our 12 Cornejos, and now we're going to do our Evan Whites. Now these I used to just number, but I think starting with this one, I'm actually going to add their positions too, maybe? Nah, let's just do the... let's just do the numbers. I think it'll be okay. I was thinking about doing like, O1 catcher, O2 catcher, O3 first base, but or infield and outfield. To simplify it, I'm not making like however many first basemen just for position coverage too. It's just gonna be two catchers. Um, how did I do it? I think I did seven infielders and five outfielders. Oh, I lost track. Where am I? I'm on three. T-Block asking, is it hard to not say Cornholio in my head? I literally am saying Cornholio in my head every time. I'm actually surprised it has not slipped out of my mouth as Cornholio yet. Oh, seven. Wait, what happened here? Did I use the wrong arrow? Seven, eight. Okay, yeah. 10, 11. Oops. 12, 13. All right, this is the last Evan White. Okay, so let's go back and make sure it looks right. We didn't miss anybody. Yeah, and now just for the Evan Whites, just because I don't want fielding to be an issue, we are going to give them some positional ability. So one and two are going to be catchers. So if you go under batting ratings now, you'll see here they have, okay, he has infield ratings, but we're also going to give the first two catcher ratings, and we're just going to do 125, middle of the road. And you have to give them experience too, because fielding in the base game is a combination of what's their maximum possible rating based on their attributes. So for the infielders, it's these four attributes, but then how much experience they have. And this is why players can learn positions. Their experience is what goes up over time. And so we're going to give him 200 at catcher. Okay. And Evan White 02 is also going to be given catcher ability because we need two catchers. Not one, not two. That from Perfect Team, it's also going to happen in. Okay, so we've got those. Now we're going to make seven infielders. By infielders, I mean he's going to have experience in all four infield positions, so we don't have to worry about positional coverage. Okay, why is he not getting a second baseman rating? That's weird. Or a third baseman rating. Go up and down and see if that changes. What is happening here? Test. Let me change 51. It's still not happening. All right, let me change this back to 51. Don't want. Would love to have an editor. Or a, yeah. It's weird. It's not giving me ratings. Sometimes if you go out of editor and come back in, I've never seen this before. Why is that not? Why is that happening? Ooh, new drops in 40 minutes. Awesome. Well, every time I've done this before, by the time I get to this point, these ratings should fill in. Okay, let's go ahead and plow through, and then we'll come back and figure out how to fix this. So this is the second infielder. This is the third infielder. This is the fourth infielder. This is the fifth infielder. This is the sixth infielder. And this is the seventh infielder. Okay, and the rest are going to be outfielders. Now, for the outfielders, we're going to have to give outfield ratings. So, again, we're going to do middle of the road, 124. Oops. Oh, no, this is why I need an undo. Now, fortunately, I have a bunch of other Evan Whites, so I can go see what this error was. Oh, let me see Control Z. Okay, if you only messed up one, you can do Control Z. But if you mess up more than one, you're kind of screwed. Ah, did it again. Yeah. I keep forgetting with the outfield, if you hit tab, it goes back to the infield side first, which is kind of inconvenient. Okay, and then for the now look, it's gonna work for the outfield. I wonder if these ratings are too low to be infielders. Okay, let's finish the outfield and then we'll go back and look at the infield. 125. Ah, I did it again. Dang it. 125, 125, and then outfield. Now, if you're new to base game, you might find this interesting. His underlying outfield attributes are still the same 125, 125, 125. At equal experience, his ratings in the outfield are different because OOTP assigns different difficulty to each position. So everything's equal here, but he's only 80 center fielder, a 129 right fielder, and a 149 left fielder. All right. Okay. 4,000. Jeez, I keep doing it. Twenty-five. I didn't do it that time. Fool me four times, shame on you. Fool me 5 times, shame on me. Okay, so our outfield is set. Let's go back to those infielders and try to figure out what's going on here. I'm wondering if these. Okay, I have another. I have many other Evan Whites, so I can always restore these numbers. Let's change these to 100s and see if that helps. No, it doesn't. For some reason, it doesn't want to let him be anything other than a first baseman. Why is that? So I got to find out what his other ratings are. 56, 43, 51. Okay, yeah, I didn't think so. These are high enough that I've never seen these dashes. It's like it's not letting him get a second baseman rating or a shortstop rating for some reason. Why is this happening? Let's see. Is it a create currently? No. No. I'm stumped here. I don't know why. Like having Keith Hernandez play other infield. Yeah. Oh, wait, I wonder, does he throw lefty? Yeah, he throws lefty. Okay, let's experiment. If you look down here, you see it says he throws lefty. I'm gonna say that he throws righty, and I bet those ratings show up all of a sudden. Okay, but then why is he a one? Why why is he only a one? Are these too low? Oh, they are too low. He's such a bad fielder, even if I turn him around to be right-handed. Wow. He was too bad, and he was like, all right, see, I learned something new. Even though I've been doing this in base game for over a decade, I still learn something new with Restream, it seems. But that was a good guess. I'm giving myself credit for a good guess that it was the left-handed throwing. And if I was left-handed, I would be offended. I would be offended that OOTP is saying you can't play those positions for left-handed. Yeah, D Block in the 2022 COVID short season, he won a Gold Glove, and this is his 2022. Oh, you know what? I took his stats, his defense though, from across his career. So maybe he was terrible in his second and only other year. I don't know. All right. So we're really starting to mess with some stuff now. I thought it was just me fielding range, but we've completely changed the way he throws. Okay, I'm also noticing something else. These outfield ranges or outfield stats, they are different from player to player. You saw when I built that roster file, it said just bring me 12 of the same pitcher and 12 of the same batter. Yet, look at these outfield ratings. They are slightly different for each version of this guy, right? So, version 4, he's a 14 range. Version 5 has an 11 range. The air and arm are changing too. This is really weird. It should literally be bringing the same person over 12, 14 times in this case, and it's not. What are you doing to us, OTP? OTP? All right, and then we got to turn them around to throw righty. Is anyone in the chat a lefty? If you are you offended that OOTP is saying you literally cannot play second, short, and third base in OOTP because you throw lefty? D-Block, D-Block would always get White offered as a trade in 21 and 22. Made the mistake once. Flash is also weirded out. Yeah, this is bizarre. I mean, they're minor differences, but it's not what I asked for. Okay, but at least now we can proceed with this sim after I make these edits. There are a few more edits than I was hoping for, but at least the sim is going to work. So no lefties to be offended by what OOTP is telling us, that you are physically unable to play infield. Well, you knew he couldn't hit a lick, right? Like it's in his profile. Did you think he was going to improve somehow? Okay, now we're into our outfielder, so we're set. Now, the only other thing I want to do on this roster is check the stamina of our pitcher and see if we need to do anything there. So let's go back to our. Okay, it's Nate Corneo. So he had a middle of the road stamina, so I think he was fine left unchanged. So now let's go to. All right, you see that, right? Every time the game has to chew on something, like Mike cuts out. You know, I'm worried now. Let's save this. Okay, so now we're on team Fox Boyd, and we're just going to do the same thing here. Stamina 60, perfect. That's a great stamina for uh, a swing man, so he can start or come out of the pen. I think Cornejo's in that range too, so I don't think I have to change that. I'm trying to change as few things as possible. All right, so this will be Boyd 01. Boyd 02. Boyd 03. Boyd 04. Oops. Having to do this over and over is maybe the best argument for not doing just one pitcher over and over, but pitchers. So maybe this is still better. And then I think at the next ad break, whenever that is, I'm still new to streaming, so I don't know how everyone seems to know when their ad breaks are coming. But I'm gonna take a quick break too at the next ad break. I think maybe if I had another screen and I had my um, Twitch dashboard up, I might see that the ad breaks are coming. I don't know. Okay, let me make sure I did that right. Okay, so the Boys are good. Let's go into the Nelly Foxes here. Or was my computer thinking and it cut out temporarily? Okay, so actually, while we're in here, why don't I do the fielding stuff too? So we'll make him a catcher. See, now this is a gold glove second baseman. You like that Fox card? Yeah, it's nice. I like the fielding too. The turn double play is great. But we're also going to make him a good catcher. So maybe 125 is too generous. Maybe these should all be 100s. But I already started with 125, so we'll just go with it. I think because it's yeah. and then we'll make him a catcher. By the way, all the Nelly Foxes will be able to play second base, and all of the who's our first baseman? Anyway, all of versions of him will be able to play first base. Okay, and we don't have to change his handedness, so that's good. Okay, this will be a second catcher. And this is 02. Let me make sure I hit enter. Oh, see, I did not hit enter on the. Is this the catcher? Yeah. On 01, I forgot to hit enter. 2. Okay, now we're at 3. 3 is going to be an infielder. Okay, this will be the first one that's going to play all the infield spots. Now for Nelly Fox, he has enough infield rating, so we can just give him 200s across the board, and we're good to go. So this will be 04. Now, it'd be nice if you could just copy and paste these players, but if you do that, if you clone them, they go into the free agent pool, not onto your roster, which is also a bummer. Okay, the next one's 05. And we need to give him infield ratings. Okay. And you can see, right? It thinks shortstop and third base are much more difficult because he's a 106 second baseman. Same person, same attributes, same experience. He's a 56 third baseman and a 60 shortstop. Now I'll show you something cool. If you change this arm from 55 to 155, all of a sudden his third base number went up and his shortstop number went up. So it does at least factor that in, like things that are important. And like turn double play will help your shortstop and second baseman rating more than will help your third base and first base rating. And if y'all already knew that, I apologize for yammering at you with stuff you already know. Okay, this is now Fox 06. Be another infielder. When we hit enter. Okay, this will be 07. And then 08. Enter. Okay, so that's 6 infielders. We need one more infielder. Make sure that's right. 08, 09. Yep. Now the next one's 10, and it's going to be our first outfielder. Now these are going to be too low, so we're going to go 125s again. I learned by looking at this Nelly Fox, you know, if these ratings are a gold glove, I need to make these like all hundreds or 80s or something if I'm going to make someone force them an outfielder catcher. So now I know that for next time. Oops. 200, 200, 200. Okay, that's 10. This is 11. Well, bear with me, we're almost done. Ah! I forgot to do the tab twice again. I thought I was past all that. Okay, now I forgot which one we're up to, so I'm gonna have to go back here. 12. This is 13. Enter. Tab twice. And this will be 14. See, look, these are 3, 3, and 8. Such different outfield ranges for the same player. It is so bizarre. And I believe this is 14. And hit enter. Okay, let's look at the roster and make sure we got all the. Oh, all right. Oh, this one's missing a number. It's number 3, right? 1, 2, 4. So this is number 3. I must have forgotten to hit enter. 03, enter. Down and up. Yep. Okay, now let's go back to the roster. There we go. Okay. Interesting that Team Boyd Fox, they're much higher rated than, right, 3.5 stars and 4.5 stars compared to Team Cornejo White. 1.5 stars, 2 stars. So these are going to be blowouts, I guess. Although maybe not. Well, yeah, they're going to be blowouts. I should have maybe found more of an Evan White equivalent, like a um instead of Nelly Fox, like someone who's not as good but does strike out much. I'm sure there's someone out there. In fact, this stream goes sideways. Maybe that's what I'll do next time. All right, so let's save this now that we're ready to go. Oh wait, no. Let me show you how to do the do not disturb. Okay, if you hit this do not disturb, the fine print says the AI is going to still be allowed to do lineups, depth charts, pitching staff, and minor league transactions, including adding people to your roster at roster expansion date. So instead, we're going to do de facto do not disturb by just unchecking all these exit autoplay things. And now we're done. And then I'm just going to mess with this a little bit here. When I do these, I find that the mail is necessary for me to get all-star voting and well, not maybe necessary, but it's the way I like to get all-star voting and award notifications, because I can use this copy button and I copy and paste it into a file just to have like the record of what happened in the sim. Okay, then I have to do this for the Mariners too, but I'm supposed to already be in the Mariners. How do I get to that equivalent screen? Oh, since I'm the manager for both, I think I just need to do it one time, which would make sense. Okay. So I think we're ready to go. Oh no, we need to set lineups and stuff. This is always interesting because theoretically these are all identical, but we already saw from the outfield ratings they are not identical. So the AI should spot minor differences, and that's probably why it's not going to be in the rotation Cornejo 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 because every time I've done this, it's never straightforward. Oh, you got Flash. You got Fox on Thursday. Awesome. Hit 294 in Iron League, 1.0 WAR. Great defender. Awesome, man. Yeah, I would really like to play Fox in the lineup. But we get to play him here for a whole season, so that'll be fun. Okay, so we're going to have the AI do the staff. And I think it's those minor differences that apparently the game is embedding, like those outfield ratings for Nelly Fox. Why it's not just going to be all in order. Yeah, so for some reason, Cornejo 7 is the ace, and 5 is second, and 3 is the closer. I'm sure it's now that I just noticed that alpha thing, I'm sure there are other random things that are slightly different that's causing the AI to put them in these positions. Okay, and then let's go to the batters. Okay, set our lineups and depth charts. Okay, now I need to look at the depth chart because I want to make sure that the backup catcher, Evan White, is not playing. Good. It's only backing up catcher. Great. Okay. Let's go do the same with the Mets. We're already on this screen, so I want to do batting range just to make sure they're all identical. Okay, good. At least at a 20 to 80 rating. Oh, and let's turn scouting off. I want the scouting accuracy to be 100%. Um, so I don't know if you know this. If you're using scouting, it's 100% accurate. If you have scouting on, you have a choice as to how accurate the scouts are, and so you might get bad information. I always play with scouting 100% accurate or scouting off, basically. Okay, so let's get. Oh, we need to be in the overview screen. Give us all of our lineups and depth charts. Okay, good. Since backup catcher is not playing, although he's assigned to second base for some reason. And then let's go to the pitching staff. All right. Okay, in this one, it's Matthew Boyd 2 is the ace for some reason, and Nate Cornejo 3 is the ace in the other team. Okay, so now we're going to sim just one day, so it does all of the season setup stuff, and then we'll save it, and then save it. This is why Mike puts out during this. Going to the playoffs. How did we go to the playoffs? We just did one day. That's weird. That was really weird. I don't know what just happened there. It's still 2023. It's still March 30th. It's still opening day. Let's check our schedule. Wait, why do we have no games? Okay, let me do it. Let me do a backup here. Okay, so the backup is made. I don't know why we don't have any games here. Maybe it said playoffs because. Oh, I bet it's because we're in different leagues. Is there nothing until the World Series? I wonder if that's the problem. Yeah. Okay, I need to make a different schedule. Um, I bet interleague play is no interleague play should be on because it's 2023 and there is interleague play. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so we need to be in the same league. Let's move everyone to the NL East then. All right, now let's generate a schedule. Let's see if that fixed it. Oh man, does it think the season's over? Why is it not giving us a schedule? Oh, April 1st, playoffs begin. That's not what I want. Um, can't go backwards. We may have to go to 2024 then. That's a bummer. I thought we could play interleague for the whole season, but I guess if there's only one team per league, it just assumes you're the pennant winner. Okay, well, unfortunately, I backed it up after I did. Now that's a downside of starting the season doing one game. Okay, so let's sim the rest of. Let's sim, I guess, until next year. So it should just be the playoffs. All right, so I'm just trying to get to a regular season. So I'm hoping that by simming the playoffs, it'll take us to 2024, and then we can have a whole season where we're both in the American League. Um, do we have postseason stats? Okay, we have some stats. This must be from the post. Well, no, there's not enough innings. What are these stats? This is really weird. All right, let me see now if we are. Do we have a 20? Okay, that's the playoffs. Okay, the World Series happened in April. So let's go to the next preseason, I guess. Yeah, you're not kidding, Flash. This is strange and new. Man, all because I just tried to have them in separate leagues. That's a bummer. When I did this with just all Cornejos and Foxes, I had them both in the I think in the NL East to start with, and it wasn't a problem. So now I know. Hopefully, I'm not learning the hard way. Hopefully, I don't have to redo all those Nelly Foxes and stuff. If I do, I'm ending the stream tonight, and I'll just do it again next time because I that's so tedious. Okay. All right. So now we're in 2024. Do we have a schedule? Please say we have a schedule. We still don't have a schedule. All right. What if I generate what if I ask it to generate another schedule? Oh man. Edit league structure. Okay, we're in the same league now. So can we please have a schedule? All right, it says the schedule's generated. What does it look like? Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. What is the problem? What is the problem? Let's go back and check it out. League settings. Rules. I'm not seeing anything here that would hmm. By the way, I'm not hearing myself anymore. I've got headphones on and listening to my own stream. I'm not hearing myself anymore. I hope you are hearing me. Trying to figure out why it's not. Oh, I'm gonna be so bummed out. I have to redo all that roster building. Why is it not generating a schedule? Okay, you can hear me clear. Great, thank you. Uh, leagues and leagues and teams. Major League Baseball, Major League. There's just two teams in the NL East. Why is it not giving me a schedule? Rules. Options. 162 games. Edit league schedule. Why do I not have a league schedule? Actions. Generate fictional schedule. It says it's generated, but there are no games. Clear schedule. It will erase the schedule. Now generate fictional schedule. Schedule generated. Man, it doesn't like something I did. Okay, let me see if there's a way to salvage Because what I want to be able to do is export these players in a way that I can import them later. Because I don't think the backup's going to help because there's something like embedded now in the way I set up this league that it's not generating a schedule. So how do I export? And this is a bummer that I'm not going to get to do the sim tonight. I was looking forward to checking out the stats. How do I export rosters? I've never had to do this before. The game, Flash says the game sometimes frustrates that way. In fictional league, it's very yeah. I can't even imagine like if I were running one of these big um sim leagues and I did something like this and broke the league. Oh my goodness, what a nightmare that must be. Okay, here's what I might have to do. I might have to. Oh, maybe. Oh, wait. Maybe there's an export function in here. Import export functions. Export. All right, let's try exporting the entire roster. I want to just be able to export teams, but since there's only two teams, this might be what we need for this. This is um, AVK unnormalizing roster.txt. I don't know where it's exporting it to, but okay. Let me screenshot this because it has the file path. Why, why does Windows insist on saving stuff to OneDrive? I don't want this stuff in OneDrive. Documents out of the park. Okay. Okay, it says it's in. Oh, it's games. Yeah, that's interesting. By the way, learning how to navigate OOTP folders is a whole skill in and of itself. Okay, OOTP baseball save. Wait, what was that path again? OOTP baseball 25 save games. Saved games. Oh, I've never seen that before. I have an ad frame now. That's it. I've never seen that before. Okay. Um, save games. Experiment 4, EXP4. Sorry, I know you guys aren't seeing this, but I also didn't want to like unintentionally like reveal anything sensitive in my folders. You learn how to import a new logo. Yeah, isn't that super fun? I usually do that with my teams. Um, and also where the logo goes is not necessarily intuitive. Wait, what am I missing here? Experiment for import export. Okay, I would not have looked for that. Import export. If you don't mind, what's your team name so I can look for that team and logo in tournaments and stuff? Okay, so I see the roster. It is a text document. I'm opening it up. Let me oh, interesting. This is what it looks like. I mean, it's truncated because I have it zoomed in, but this is what the saved roster looks like. It's all Boyds, and it should be all Foxes. Okay, at least I have that now. I have that saved. So I guess tomorrow, stay. I mean, I guess if you're available and up this late again tomorrow, tune back in. I will. I think what I'll do is I'll restart the season. I'll make sure that both teams are in the same, not just league, but same division. Because I know it works. I did this with the A's and Mariners last time and it worked. So I think it just didn't like that I took them from two different leagues. I'm surprised it wouldn't let me fix it though by putting them in the same league. So I'm going to start over knowing that I have this roster file I can import. And I'll put the Mets and Mariners in the same division, import this roster file, and do it that way. Um, I'm just past the time I can really normally stream because I gotta get the kids up in the morning, and so I step later, but my wake up time is fixed. So, fortunately, I think I'm gonna have to call it a stream here, but pause that we did not get to actually see how this plays out. Yeah, thanks, Flash. Oh, and I also am getting I'm getting giveaway packs, so we can start wagering on these up on the outcomes of these streams, and I can give away packs for whoever's closest. I think it'll be things like, how many teams will, um, how many games will the winning team win, or how many strikeouts will Nellie Fox, uh, the highest number of strikeouts for, like Nellie Fox will be stuff like that. So I'll come up with good. Some good quizzes or wagers, I guess, and then we'll give away some packs too. So that'll be fun. All right, I guess let me save this and let me find someone to raid into. Hopefully, someone doing OOTP. If anyone sees someone out there streaming that you want me to raid into, let me know. Thanks, Flash. I don't know if you're starting your day or not, but you too. All right, let's see who's streaming the Park 25. If not, I've been just trying to find people who are streaming something baseball related. Oh, Marbek is streaming. So it won't be. I don't think he streams in English because he's based in Spain. But um, everything I've heard about him is that he's a great dude and a great streamer. So I'm going to raid you into him. This will be fun. If it will let me type. Man, now my system's starting to crash. I'm going to crash, but the system's starting to crash. There we go. Flash read. You know what? In case she wants to chat, I'm going to pull up Twitch on my phone because I'm not hearing anything even on my own stream. But Flash tells me he can hear me, so my audio is getting out there. I'm just not hearing it. So let me okay, I'm following Marbek now. Okay, I can hear him on my phone, so we're gonna raid into him. So not gonna let me raid? That's weird. Alright, let me try from here. Okay, here we go. Alright, raiding into Marbek 77. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for joining. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow so you can see the conclusion of this. And I'll have a solution for the schedule not generating. Have a good night. Trying to press the raid now button. Not working.